Hello, my friends. It's Nick, the ASMR nerd. And today I'm going to show you a piece of software that is basically magic. Basically magic. Maybe the most magical thing I've ever seen on my computer. And this piece of software, believe it or not, will allow anybody of any level of skill to produce beautiful, photorealistic, natural landscapes in minutes. Minutes. It's so easy. I can do it. You could do it. Anyone could do it. And the software is called NVIDIA Canvas. And this is in beta right now. It has been out for a while, as I understand it, but I only discovered it a little while ago, a few weeks back. And honestly, it blew my mind when I saw what it can do. So I'll stop teasing you. We'll just jump right into it, basically. So this is a piece of software that lets you make really basic lines and shapes and things like that over here on this canvas on the left side of the screen. And then it uses AI, artificial intelligence, to turn those into natural landscapes, basically photorealistic landscapes. I'll show you what I mean. Let's start off with, oh, what's nice? A little bit of ocean. Let's start with some ocean. Let's get a nice big brush here. And we'll just draw some ocean here, like this. Just color it in, like this. As soon as I let go of my mouse, what's that? Suddenly, there's ocean. And actually, to make this even a little more believable, let's use a line tool. And just make this kind of a straight horizon. There we go. That's maybe a little bit better. Now, let's add a new layer here, because we're going to put some stuff in front of the ocean. Let's say we wanted to put in some, stones. Maybe some stone pinnacles rising up out of the ocean. Let's just do one over here, like sea stacks, something like this. And let's say we want it to be a little bigger. Let's go back to the brush tool. Make it look maybe a little more natural, like this. Maybe it's got an arch coming off of it and down onto another piece down here, like this. Just connect it like that. Like so. Well, it's a little funky. It doesn't quite want to do that. Yeah, it's a little better. That's pretty good. And let's say maybe we want this to look a little more realistic, like that. A little more believable. And let's say that maybe we want, some grass growing on here. Give it sort of a little grassy top. Actually, you know what we should do? Let's undo that. Let's put it on another layer. Let's do like this. Okay, so now we've got some vegetation, some plants and some stuff up there. Let's say there's a little grassy shoulder here maybe. And let's say on top of all that, I'm going to add a new layer with some happy little trees. Or maybe a happy little tree. I'm not sure how many we can fit on here and still look reasonable. But let's do, that's one little tree. And a couple little trees, like so. Maybe make them a little bigger. Just like that. Like that. Maybe make a little, there we go. Like so. So now we've got our little sea stack with our little arch. We've got some pretty little trees off the top there. That's looking pretty nice. Now let's scatter a few more rocks around, maybe in the water here. Just a couple small ones, like so. Some little boulders like that. And then let's say, oh, I forgot to make a new layer. Oh well, that's okay. Let's say in the distance we wanted to put a mountain. So we're going to put this layer, drag it underneath all the existing ones. And we'll go to the little mountain palette, or little mountain brush here. We'll make our brush a little bigger. And let's just make a real epic mountain in the distance there. Just like that. Like the mountain's looking a little funky now. Oh, look at that. Suddenly, a mountain appears. Let's say, this is looking nice. It's looking pretty good. But I think this would look a little more epic if we put a little bit of snow on top of that mountain. Don't you? So we're just going to add a new layer. Just above the mountain layer. We're just going to detail a little bit of snow on here. Just a bit of snow on here. Maybe like that. It's looking a little goofy, isn't it? Maybe we don't want the snow. Or maybe we just want the snow to look a little different than what we've got here. We want a pointier mountain. Alright, the real mountains aren't that pointy. How about like this? No. You know what? I changed my mind. I think it looks better without the snow. We'll try a snow-topped mountain next time. But I think a little bit more dramatic lighting would go a long way here to really making this image pop. So over here in the styles section, we have all these different styles that are trained on different sets of images. And let's try this one. Let's get a little sunset action going on. Now that is gorgeous. That's really pretty. But maybe we want a bright, beautiful day. Let's try this one here. Whoa. Now it looks kind of tropical all of a sudden, doesn't it? I think I like the sunset the most. And you know what we're missing? You know what we're missing here? I think we're missing, underneath everything, some clouds in the sky. So let's paint some clouds. Let's just do like that. And like this. And maybe one over here too. Just like that. And one right down here. Those are kind of coming in not as distinct as I'd hoped. Let's back it up a few here. Maybe we can make them a little smaller. This one looks really good, actually. That's actually really nice. Maybe less is more here. Maybe less is more. Just do a little bit there, a little bit there. Maybe a little bit up here just to fill in this patch of sky. Nope, you know what? We don't need that. I think that's looking pretty nice. So that is an example of what you can do with NVIDIA Canvas. And that took me, 5, maybe 10 minutes. I was going pretty slow. And we have this gorgeous scene. Now, I admit, it's not perfect. It's a little soft looking. That's because we've got it way zoomed here. If we set it 100% size, you can see it's not the biggest image in the world. This is on a 4K screen, but you look at the input and you look at the output, and it's basically magic, isn't it? Isn't that incredible? So this is all done with the power of tensor cores, which are exclusive to NVIDIA's RTX GeForce and Quadro video cards. And tensor cores are specifically designed for accelerating AI-related algorithms. And so I suspect that you could probably do this on a CPU, a modern CPU, but right now only NVIDIA's RTX or RTX Quadro cards are supported. So when I say anyone can do this, I suppose I mean anyone with an RTX graphics card, but the 2000 and 3000 series will both work. So, all right, let's blow these up again here. And it does a pretty good job, I think. Every once in a while, it does something kind of goofy, and you kind of massage a little bit to get what you want. Sometimes things don't work out quite as you hoped, but it's so quick. You can just rapidly, just any shapes, general landforms that you can dream up, you can turn into something that approximates a real image. And this is just incredible to me. So let's do another one. Let's just start fresh. Yeah, we don't need to save that. It was all right, but maybe we can do something even more dramatic. Okay, well, we were talking about a mountain scene earlier. I'm picturing something very Bob Ross. Very Bob Ross. So I'm picturing maybe we'll start with, actually we didn't even fill the sky last time. Why don't we start with that? Let's fill with the sky. Oh, I guess by default it's filled with sky. Yeah, okay, never mind. Okay, so let's start with grass again. Let's do a little alpine meadow. We'll have it kind of come down here, come to a low point. But you know what? For an alpine meadow, we better change our style to something that's a little more appropriate for that. No. Okay, strong start. Slope up that way. Let's just flatten this out a little bit. Alright, that's pretty good. Okay, now I'm thinking maybe a little river winding its way through, or a little stream through this alpine meadow. So we can go to river. Let's do that. Let's use a smaller looking brush here. And I'm picturing something that maybe comes in like this. See, this is the problem. You do have to have some, well, not really. Actually, I was going to say, you need some idea of perspective. But actually, it did a pretty good job of that. Just my little windy river, it kind of made it work. Okay. So, but the big feature here, I want to be a mountain. So we're going to put this layer in behind. I forgot to put my stream on a layer, but that's okay. And let's imagine sort of a multi-peaked sort of thing. Oh, we're in behind our sky layer. Whoops. There we go. And let's fill this in now. So you can fill in with the fill tool. Or you can just, do this kind of thing. Oh wait, no, what am I doing here? That's wrong. No, I do want it behind. We might have to start again here because or we can erase it. No, you know what? Start again. We're just going to start from scratch. It'll be fine. Just hit the new button. Discard. Okay. Start from scratch. Because I had painted sky in when I didn't really need to previously. So, okay. So before we had this kind of slope thing coming down, kind of like that. Oh, I'm painting with trees though. That's not going to work. It's not gonna work. Alright, fill this in once again. Oh, that's pleasing. Alright, let's do our little river here again. Maybe make it a little slightly bigger river. What if we challenge the AI a little bit and try and do like that? Okay, not bad, not bad. It's pretty reasonable. I'm not sure I'm totally happy with that. Also, I just realized I forgot to make a new layer again. Bad Nick. Just turn around this off a little bit so it looks a little less pointy. Slightly less pointy. Seems to want to make it pointy no matter what. It's trying to put in like a little riverbanks, I guess. What if we just turn this into like a little... Ah, that's kind of nice, isn't it? A little alpine pond. Yeah, you know what? You know what, guys? I'm feeling a little alpine pond, I think. More than I'm feeling a... Yeah, I'm digging this. Okay, yes. That's looking really nice. Okay, and then let's add this layer, and it'll go in behind again. Now we're going to do our mountain again. And this thing's going to be... no, that's maybe a little too much. Okay, alright. I think we can work with that. Now let's just try and make a maybe slightly more realistic kind of series of peaks here that aren't quite so pointed like I've been doing here. And then this one is the biggest up there like that. Let's make this really tiny so we can get some nice kind of slightly more angular features. No, that's just more pointy. Okay, and let's fill this in now. Let's fill this in. Huh, that is not quite what I expected, but you know what? It's not bad. That's not bad. But I think I would like to definitely have some trees. So let's see if we can make a small tree line here. Like in front of the grass. Yeah, actually where it is fine. What if we just put in like a bunch of trees like this? What does that do? Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Figured that out. And that gives us a better sense of scale. If we bring these trees all the way down like this. There we go. Isn't that cool? We've got a few in the foreground there. Something kind of funky going along in the foreground, but it doesn't look too bad. It's pretty acceptable. We should bring the foreground trees down just a little bit more. Nope, you know what? That's worse, definitely. If anything, we want to maybe erase them and move them up a little bit so we have kind of a thinner tree line there. Not sure that did it either, really. Just a little bit. Nope, I think I like it that way. We'll leave it that way. Okay, now let's see about maybe painting some snow on these mountaintops, because that's what we tried last time and it just didn't quite work for us. But maybe this time we can... What's going on here? Oh, I was erasing. here. We can put this back down here. Okay, let's just try this. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, we're getting very snowy peaks very quickly. I just want, like, it's already kind of got a little bit up there, actually. Because presumably the image set that it trains from has snow on the peaks. Okay, alright. Maybe we can just work with that. Maybe that's alright. Oh, now we're getting a very snowy mountain. Well, you know what? This is going to be a snowy mountain. That's just how it's going to be. Just do each little peak there. Ooh, that is a brilliantly snowy mountain. It kind of brings it all the way down the side, doesn't it? I just really want just a little touch on the peaks there. Just a little touch. But it seems to really want to go for it. Let's bring it up a little more, though. Just a little more. It's like, no matter what I do, there's a lot of snow. But that's looking better. That's looking better. I just want it very thin. Yeah, that's it. Just a tiny little touch on the highest parts. Just the tallest points. It's like a dusting up there, you know? There we go. That's looking a little better. Sort of. It's not perfect, but it's maybe a little closer to what I was envisioning. Yeah, that's something. Okay. Now let's just throw like a couple of rocks around here just for the sake of variety. It's like patches of rocks here. A little boulder over there, maybe. Yeah. Maybe a little distant boulder here. Break it up a little bit. Make it slightly more realistic looking. Foreground. Big boulder right there. That was not really working out, is it? Oh, that's okay. And then maybe even a couple in the lake. Ooh, that's maybe bigger than I intended. Nope, definitely not that. And maybe we don't want any in the lake. Maybe it's just not quite what we're looking for. Doesn't seem to be able to handle that super well. What if we put some boulders up on the mountain here? What does that do? Oh, that's another way to kind of combat the snow effect, isn't it? Well, that very much changed things. This is one of the coolest things, though, is just experimenting with all these brushes and seeing what you can come up with. All right. Well, we've got this beautiful little alpine scene, don't we? And to finish it off, oh, what haven't we done yet? Oh, this is water. That's not, oh, What happens if we use water instead of river? I didn't realize there was a separate water. Let's just draw it in here and see what happens. Oh, it's a little clearer. A little nicer reflection. Oh, that's nice. I like that. I like that. I'm feeling like our trees could maybe use just a little bit of help kind of in here. They're doing funky things. Funky things. I'm not sure that's helping them. No, that's definitely worse. Yeah, that actually kind of did what I was looking for. Trying to fix these kind of swirly looking artifacts that were happening there. Okay. Now I think, yes, fog. Okay, let's see now. What if we put a fog layer in between the mountain and everything else. It's like right about here. What happens? Only one way to find out. What if we just put like a... Oh wow, okay, that's maybe a little more than I intended. Wow. So you can get quite foggy. What if we just want the peaks in a little bit of fog? Huh. Very interesting. Looks a little bit blown out, but it's pretty epic looking. Just these clouds kind of clinging to the tops of the mountains over there. What if we turn off our snow layer? Because that's the beauty, right? We could just hide the entire snow layer. Where did we put our snow layer? There. Snow off, snow on, snow off, snow on. Now snow on's looking better. What if we put a little bit of fog? Oh, no, you know what? No, I think this is looking pretty good. I was wondering, well, whatever. Happy little accidents can't hurt, right? If we put a little bit of fog on the lake. I'm just curious. Oh, that didn't quite work. Oh, that's because... Interesting. Just like a touch, just a little skiff. Oh, that was a lot of fog. Yeah, there's not really any good way to do it to make it look... You can make it a fog soup. No, it's not really what we're looking for. Okay, but I do think underneath everything we could probably put a couple clouds in there. A couple clouds. Just to see how that looks. What about like a big, like, cumulus kind of cloud over here? A big puffy guy. Yeah, like that. And maybe something just a little wispier underneath. As a matter of fact, putting the clouds up by the peaks here, maybe not there. But it kind of helps make the fog look a little bit more reasonable here. You know? No, maybe we don't need anything else. Yeah. I think we're going to call that done. Another masterpiece by the ASMR nerd. But you get the gist of it anyway. You see what's going on here. We have very basic tools. I can do a quick walkthrough here for you, I guess. We've just got the paintbrush, the line tool. You've probably picked this all up just based on my usage. The eraser, the area fill tool, like the bucket tool, eyedropper, which lets you just pick up each type of brush. And then this lets you pan around, but we really don't need that because it all fits on here quite happily. You can adjust the size of the brush. Over here, you have your various textures that you can paint with. So to go through them all, what have we got? Sky, cloud, grass, hill. Oh, we haven't really used hill. We could use that here. Wonder what that looks like. Stone, mountains, forest, sand, snow, sea, river, general water, gravel. Oh, that's an interesting one. We haven't used that. Fog, and this one, stone walls. So if we did want to have a little bit of a manufactured landscape or some human element on the landscape, we could do that. And then, of course, our layers, which we can drag around and we can delete or hide as required. And then styles, which don't really have names, but they change the total look of the picture. Because like I said, as I understand it, each style is a different training set for the AI. So it interprets your brush strokes, your primitives over here in different ways as different things. And certain styles are going to be better paired or better suited to different, kinds of pictures or different ideas, concepts. But let's just look at this image we've got now through the lenses of all these different styles, just to see what it does. So actually, I quite like that. That turned out okay. Interestingly, this style looks to be like almost like a Monument Valley type desert. So that's a less saturated, but maybe more realistic mountain scene. I might say that that's actually a better look than this one. Yeah. This looks like nighttime. Look at that. It literally just transforms the whole scene to nighttime. That's nuts, you guys. It's magic. This is sort of a sunset, very foggy looking scene. Interestingly, the sky in this style is very saturated, but we don't see that in our output. This is kind of a cloudier mountains, maybe. This is sunset by the sea. Doesn't quite work out so well for this image. That one's pretty good. That's quite believable. These two are actually very similar, but this is a little less detailed. This looks like a beach. Doesn't so much work for the mountains. This is what we started with. Very bright, very sunny alpine meadow. I think this might be my favorite though. This is a little bit more of what I was going for, and I think provides a slightly more realistic palette and realistic interpretation of the trees, and especially, what I like? I like the detail that we got in the mountain back here, where you can see it looks almost like forested part way up, and then we start to see these valleys with snow and clinging along the bottom of the face here. That's a very realistic behavior when you're getting snow melt. So I'm pretty happy with that one, I would say. Let's do one more, shall we? One more, and see what we can come up with. Once again, I don't really feel the need to save this because you come up with them so easily. But should you want to, there are several save options. You can save it as a PNG, or you can save it as a PSD, so a Photoshop file, and it'll actually keep all the layers separate so that you can go in, toggle layers, and do what you like with them after the fact. The usefulness of something like that is a little bit limited simply because, again, these are pretty low resolution images. Again, if we scale to 100%, that's the size we're dealing with here. I don't actually know, but it's probably, I guess I could save it and look at the output, but just to eyeball it, I'm guessing it's like, maybe 600 by 600 or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Maybe a little bigger, 800 by 800. Pretty small, but anyway, let's do one more. You guys want to see one more? Let's do one more. Discard changes. Okay. Let's do a beach scene. We've not used the sand yet. So, where was that? Sand here. Let's do some, well, we'll lay down the ocean first. We did do an ocean scene, but it wasn't really a beach scene. Okay, so there. Line tool. And bring it across like we did the first time. Like so. And then fill it in. Oh, that's a nice looking sea, isn't it? It's already looking kind of tropical. Now let's take our sand and we'll do something coming in. Let's just do, oops, I forgot once again. Should we do a separate layer? Let's bring it in here. Fill it in. Okay, it's looking a little goofy. The perspective's maybe a little goofy, but it's okay. There, that's a little better, I think. And let's go to our tree. Now, I'm curious. If we draw something the shape of a palm tree, do you think there's any chance it'll figure that out? Let's just see what happens. Let's just imagine that we draw a tree like this. Okay, it's got a trunk. Then let's say we just kind of do this. Okay, this is maybe the derpiest palm tree I've ever seen. Let's try a different style. Okay. It's trying, but it's not quite getting there, is it? It's a pretty hilarious looking palm tree. Okay, it's, it's... Now it doesn't know what the heck I'm trying to draw. It's trying to give it texture, but... I mean, this is like maybe a slight improvement. But it looks pretty rough. Doesn't it? It's not quite there. Maybe that we're asking a little too much of it, maybe. Can't quite do that. But I was experimenting earlier, and I was able to get just a kind of, generic branching looking deciduous tree. Could figure that out if I just drew kind of a trunk and then a big ball on top. Let's take one more stab at the palm tree here. Maybe we need to be a little kinder in our frond rendering here. We're getting these weird little droopies coming down to the... That's a little better. It's still looking pretty goofy, but... This is probably as much my failure to draw a palm tree as it is the AI's failure to recognize a palm tree. It's having a hard time with this one sticking out this way. That's not so bad. That's maybe the best we're going to get. Alright, well, it's got the general idea. You can sort of tell what's supposed to be going on there. No, that definitely did not work. Okay, and let's do just some really gentle clouds in the distance. A separate layer. Underneath, we'll do it there. Just nice little fluffy clouds. It's interesting, even when you put stuff behind things, sometimes it does affect the foreground a bit. You can see that there, right? Oh, that's nice. That's nice. It's even trying to put in cloud shadows on the water. Look, guys. That's remarkable. Well, I do wish we could improve our palm tree a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna get any better. But you know what? That's a pretty idyllic looking little scene, and it's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes, I guess. And we got something that looks pretty nice, I dare say. Just out of curiosity, how do some other styles handle it? It's a little less saturated, but maybe actually does a better job with the palm tree. Huh. Beach sunset scene. Oh, that really doesn't know what to do with that palm frond, though. But these ones it does well, actually. Interestingly. Just gets confused by this one up here. I still think this one probably looks the best, but... And again, I bet you if we reduced it down to... It's like at least a passing similarity. It's like, might convince you out of the corner of your eye until you look more closely. All right, well, I think I might just leave that there. I think we've had a really nice time just exploring NVIDIA's Canvas beta and looking at a few of the things that it's capable of. Obviously, there's a lot of other stuff we could have played around with. We didn't try the gravel. We didn't try the stone walls. Let's just see what happens out of curiosity if we throw it in here. It's going to look weird because why would you have a stone wall on a beach? But I'm curious what it does. Yeah, there you go. There's a retaining wall for some reason now on this beach. But we'll get rid of that. It's not the vibe we're going for here. But it's an amazingly capable little piece of software. Obviously not super deep on the features. There's only one the size of a canvas. There's this relatively limited selection of layers or of texture types that you can paint with. But it is still in beta and it's free. So you can go download it and try it out for yourself if you have an RTX graphics card and are running Windows 10. Those are the system requirements for it. As of right now, maybe that'll change in the future. Hard to say. But for what I've seen here so far, for the enjoyment it's brought me, it was well worth the download just to muck around a little bit. And I'm not the most creative guy either. Clearly, my scenes have been pretty basic. But I'm sure that you can come up with much more interesting and varied scenes. Maybe some more epic stuff. What about some kind of mountain valley? With mountain slopes coming down from each side, or a seaside cliff, or maybe a desert with sand. You could do that if you just didn't have the ocean. All kinds of options. And it's all so easy. It takes minutes to put these things together. So that's pretty cool. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this this straight up magical piece of software that I've introduced you to here. And I hope that you found it relaxing as well. It's not quite up to Bob Ross level, but given my level of talent, it's pretty amazing what I've been able to create here, I think. So let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this kind of software, your thoughts about where this might go in the future, or, maybe some ideas that you have for how to use it. Feel free to leave a comment down there. All right, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to having you back here next time. Bye for now, my friends.